Hello. What's up? What's up? Just going live before we actually start recording. Um, I like to do this just to check my levels and everything, allow people to join, and yeah, just waiting for Nat to join. And yeah, we're gonna be talking about Some Like It Hot. Don't really want to get into it all that much, but I really liked it. I liked it a lot. Really, really great film. Really, really great film. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, my Discord. By the way, let me just. I'll toss this in the comments. Since we're in the pre-show right now. Uh, Everyone should go join the Discord once I drop the link in the comments. Things are popping off there recently. I'm posting a lot more there, and yeah. Hold on. How do I do this again? Discord's so weird. Join. Click that link. Join the Discord. Have a great time. It's gonna be a fun time over in that Discord. Wish I could kind of pin it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Anyways, I have another podcast mutual that I'm talking to, like uh in in the Discord, about how we're gonna probably watch all the Fast and Furious movies again, and yeah, it's I'm not ready for that. Really not ready for that. Um, Everything seems to be going all right on both channels. How do I sound? I won't be playing this music during the stream. Okay, that's probably gonna get that echo. I'm sorry. Let me just. Okay. Just tweeting out the link again. I've already tweeted it out and put on my Instagram. Just chilling right now. Should I even put this up there? I'm just gonna share my screen so we can go letterbox. But how's everyone doing tonight? I'm just chilling, getting ready to start the stream. We'll see what's popular on letterbox right now before I start. Letterbox always signs me out of my account. I have no idea why it does that. There. I don't know why it's signing me out. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people saw Ant-Man. It seems to be pretty um, mediocre. Doesn't surprise me at all, to be honest. It's like a, it's just want to look at one review. It's Mike, 2.5 stars. What crazy lists are going on? Okay, I know I started a cool list that I hope people will catch on. Movies that I worked on. I've only worked on like a few films, but I think that this is, if people want to make a list like this too, if you've worked on any films, please let me know. I think it would be kind of fun to actually do that. But Discord's been acting up lately. Yeah. Another thing is, I haven't seen any of the Scream movies either. That this is kind of like a foreshadowing for the actual show, because I saw another movie that was pretty similar to Scream. I would like to watch all the Scream movies before Scream 6. I've seen Scream 5, I just haven't seen any of the other ones. So what would anyone be interested in like a watch party like in the Discord where we just watch all the Scream movies leading up to Scream 6, which I think it comes out in March. Yeah, I would totally be down for that. Even if no one joins, I'll just watch it in the Discord and just people can just kind of like trickle in from there. But is that something people would want? But yeah, I've only seen the fifth one, which I really liked. I really liked the fifth movie. It just the audio level is fine. Pin this message. Wow, it's kind of frozen on the screen. I think I sound good. Sounds good enough. Just responding to some people in this Discord. I can't believe one of my Twitter mutuals, Movie Kale, follow him on Twitter. He's trying to convince me to watch all the Fast and Furious movies again. Oh, here's Nat from Stone and Social. Let me just get rid of this. Stop screen. Nat, what's up?
What's up, Marley?
Doing good. Sorry about the miscommunication there.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was going to say, what was I hearing about you saying someone trying to drag you back in to this fast shit? Let Marley rest, goddammit.
One of my friends, he runs the Youth Critic podcast, and he's like convincing me on trying to watch all the Fast and Furious movies leading up to X.
No, you already did that. We already self-harmed last year, goddammit.
I know I did. That's why I was like, how about we just watch one? We can watch one.
Just the last one. Yeah. Or pick one. It's a gumball machine. Like, they don't make sense. Pick one.
Oh my god.
No.
For anyone that hasn't seen our reaction to Fast X, everyone should go watch that. It's on the channel.
Yeah. If you want to sit through two idiots watching all Fast and Furious movies up to the current Fast and Furious movie, go check out our fucking Fast Saga, whatever it was.
Faded and Furious? Faded.
I feel like we weren't faded enough.
I think I was. I don't know about you, but
oh yeah,
I'm always faded. I'm always faded. So.
I'm supposed to be the one carrying this torch, or this, this butane lighter, but I like that you do it.
Right.
That you've got it.
You know what? Someone's got to tag team this.
It's okay. I get it.
Right. Right. Let me turn down this music, and then we can start getting into the show. Do you want me to send you the itinerary, even though that has like a spoiler for you, like a little? There's a little secret in there.
It's up to you. If you wanna hang on to it, you can.
Yeah, I'll hang on to it. That's probably best.
Like that you asked and then immediately were like, you know what though?
No. Know what I'll do? I'll bring up the Google Doc. I'll put it in the chat. Can you see the private chat? I
can, yes.
Okay. I'm just going to put it in there, and if you want to click it and be tempting. Spoiled, yeah.
Wow.
That's what I do. I just tempt you.
I don't see the link. You didn't put it in yet, did you?
I'm going to.
Okay. I was like, if it's there, it's totally secret.
Or I'm just like with the 24-hour podcast when Tommy was like, "Oh, there's no link. There's no link." Do you remember that? Moment?
Yes, so I remember.
It's so good.
I remember.
He got so mad. And you're just like, "Oh, what are you talking about? It's right there." But yeah. If you look at the itinerary, if you do, as I just close, I am not high.
I'm not high enough, but that's because I'm like taking not a tea break, but like a tea downhill break. Like when you start like pumping the brakes a little bit.
Right.
So
like Dom Toretto, yeah. You start pumping the brakes.
Yeah. I'm living my stone life a quarter of a gummy at a time right now.
My
so
God, no. We are 3 minutes away from. We are 3 minutes away from starting this, and we're already off the rails. Okay, so I'm just gonna. You know how I usually start off with introductions. I'll introduce you. I'll explain kind of like the series, the Letterbox 250. Then I'll
Mm-hmm.
say the movie we're talking about, Some Like It Hot, which I spoilers, I really like this film a lot.
Good, I'm glad.
Uh, and then we'll get into what we've been watching, and then we'll lead into the featured review. So yeah, and then
Sounds good.
um, with the introductions, when I introduce you, the way StreamYard does it, I'll take like your webcam down, and then when I introduce you, I'll pop you back up. So if your mic gets turned off, that's the reason why. That's how StreamYard does it. So it's just a
Yeah,
fancy transition. So
I'm trying to see if I can change anything I need to. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom.
okay, cool, sweet. They just added that StreamYard. I like this
Mm-hmm,
little
mm-hmm. Yeah,
lower
I like this
third.
too.
Yeah,
Your cam looks amazing.
I'm using my Panasonic G7 4K baby. Actually, well, not 4K.
Wow. I was like 4K.
it's
Does that
it's
work with the
seven.
5G in my arm or no? Like, because I
It,
only
it,
want it if it does.
it's well, it's actually 720 because I'm cheap and I didn't pay for 4K for StreamYard, but
That's perfectly acceptable.
yeah. Okay. It I'm just gonna give us a countdown real quick, and then for anyone that's in the chat, I don't think anyone is there, but for people that are there, go ahead and clap for me, like little emoji clap, just to help me sync the audio. Just make it interactive for people. And that you can clap if you want to, but just make it fun. We're making this fun.
I'm dancing.
Okay. All right. So counting us down in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Lovers Podcast. Today is February 16th, 2023. I'm still having a hard time saying the date. It's February, and it's like, when. I, I don't know. When is the month where you start getting used to the date? I don't know. But joining me today on this Letterbox challenge that I'm going on, where I'm watching every single movie in the Letterbox top 250, we is the host of the number one stoner podcast on the internet. Did I get that right, Nat? Nat,
Close.
welcome to
Yeah.
welcome to the Real Lovers Podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's close enough. Number one internet comedy wellness podcast. Woo! That's us over here at SNS. I love that you called this a challenge already. I love that you I feel like our Faded and Furious prepped you for this. Like that has deadened you and now you can watch anything.
Well, it's prepared me to do pretty much any series that's like just long and just it's like no, I can do anything. Like we did a 24-hour podcast, we did
Yep.
Faded and Furious, so it's like if we did those, I can literally do anything. And
You can do
I love
anything.
watching movies, so this is like just a fun thing for me to do, especially when the world's on fire. Because boy, this last week there was a lot that went down.
Yes, yes. The world is on fire, but movies still distract us, which I love.
Right. And it I'm really glad that you're able to join me, Nat, just because just a fellow family member like yourself.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
this is uh but yeah. Today on the show, the next movie on the Letterbox Top 250 is Some Like It Hot, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the show. But before we get into that, let's get into what we've been watching this past week. Nat, I'm gonna start off with you because I'm in your DMs constantly. I'm in your DMs constantly, and there's that you said something recently over the past week. You have Tubi. You have a Tubi subscription. So we're gonna change this what we've been watching segment into Nat. What have you been watching on Tubi?
Okay, so this is the thing. Let me preface this. I know it's never a good sign when you preface something, but I feel like this needs to be said. So I am stoned a lot. Surprise, surprise. And
On brand.
sometimes, yeah, who could have thought it? Sometimes I have a particular craving, just like a munchie, just like munchies, just like our munchie of the week. I get a particular craving for something I just must watch, and I can't find it anywhere else. And Tubi served that purpose. It was like a greasy Uber Eats 1 a.m. burger. That wasn't what I did. I actually wanted to watch Next Level Chef, which is part of like Gordon Ramsay's takeover of everything to do with cooking everywhere. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I got it for Master Chef, Next Level Chef, and Hell's Kitchen because I just wanted some Ramsay in my stoned evening.
Yeah, who doesn't want some Ramsey, like just like in their life in general? Like I know he kind of has a bad rap with like he's just constantly yelling at people, but sometimes he can be kind of motivational.
He can,
Like
yeah, and they had the most expensivest on there as well. So I think that show's kind of funny.
yeah, so you've just been watching Next Level Chef on Tubi and just like
Yes.
nothing like groundbreaking. It's just like reality TV, and it was just something.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of that on Tubi. Tubi's got like The Bachelor, it has Dance Moms, it has So You Think You Can Dance, which is not the same as Dance Moms. It's got a lot of weird stuff. It's got 25 words or less on it. I'm pretty sure the Kevin Hart. Like, look, I'm not advocating anyone download Tubi unless you're still protesting Netflix.
Yeah, and I feel like it's pretty. I don't know if Netflix wants to be a sponsor of this podcast or Tubi, like Tubi, that would be even better.
Yeah, we'll
Uh,
stop shit talking whoever
yeah,
wants to
we'll stop
sponsor
shit
this.
talking, but I'll get that
Bias.
bag. I'll get that bag. But I think if people the reason for people canceling Netflix, especially now, are totally valid. But
Mhm.
yeah, I usually just stick with Hulu to be honest. Like Hulu is
Yeah.
kind of like my main driver, but
Ugh,
yeah.
I can't with Hulu. We're contractually obligated to have commercials because I've got that damn package to save $5. I've got that ESPN, Hulu, Disney Plus package, and it comes with commercials.
Well, I get commercials regardless because I pay for the Hulu Live TV like
Oh.
subscription because I
Mhm,
don't have
mhm.
TV and this is the one thing where I can watch like my sports. But that's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic. But I
We
like how
might,
this is
yeah.
just the what we've been watching has just got turned into streaming services.
That's what we're tethered to now.
Yep, yep. But is there anything else you've been watching besides Next Level Chef?
Yeah. So not on Tubi. I started watching The Offer, which has been pretty good. I'm also watching a show called Slow Horses, which is interesting. I just needed to take myself out of the true crime documentary that we were stuck in for like the last 2 weeks. We've just been binge watching mini series about serial killer, and I just needed a break. I just needed
Mhm.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I was happy that you suggested this movie to watch.
yeah. I think we all. I needed a break after Dahmer. Like Dahmer, I watched one
Mhm.
episode and I just couldn't.
Yeah,
Like
no. Mm-mm.
our
Same.
obsession with all that is just like it's absolutely ridiculous. But I I think you're forgetting one movie that you finally saw, and I got super excited. I wanted your reaction on the podcast. What's that one
What movie
movie?
was that? Again, Stone must have been tired.
Let me help you. Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, yes, yes. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
What, did you hate it? Is that why you were hiding it? No, I'm kidding.
So I was in a bad mood when I started watching it. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to watch it in the theater 2 weeks ago, but my friends were lame and they were like, yeah, we're totally going to do it. And then they didn't. And so I got stuck watching it at home. But I will say it deserves the rating it has. I was saying immediately, it's like so many times I was like, "Oh, this is the Matrix. This is just the modern Matrix. This is the modern Matrix." And so I went online and I am very happy to see that other people acknowledge that like this type of movie couldn't be made without the Matrix because I am a fangirl for the Matrix until it gets shitty, just like Fast and Furious. So I loved the creativeness. Obviously, like this movie again deserves all of the accolades that it's going to get. I probably won't watch it again, and I'm not sure. I would only recommend this to people who I think would absolutely love it. I don't think this is a film for everyone.
Mhm. That's I feel like so you're pretty lukewarm on it. Like it's not like the best, it's not like it's not the greatest, but it's not bad.
I
It's
think
just like
people really like hyped it up. Yeah, people overhyped it a little bit. To me anyway.
see that I feel like that's the danger of like especially like the world that we live in now with like just everything just being fed to you like on social media and like Twitter. Everyone's like
Everything everywhere all at once.
exactly. It's the perfect metaphor. It's the perfect metaphor for this movie, just because it's. I'm sure like your timeline was just like this movie is amazing. You need to go see this. I saw it like 8 times, and then when you
Uh-huh,
finally saw
uh-huh,
it, you're just like, well,
uh-huh.
it's not really what I expected it. But I don't know. It's. do you
I will say
do you think Michelle
go ahead.
Yeoh deserves Best Actress at the Oscars?
Um, who's she up against? I mean, I think her performance was amazing. Um, yeah, I mean, I think everything about this movie, like again, right combination. It looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. I like the storyline. I think what I will say is perhaps if you've never seen any anime movies or anything, this is like whoo, but this kind of seemed in that vein for me. This I was like, oh, I've seen crazy anime like this.
Mhm.
Ask me what I think about Triple R when I watch that because I am excited for that.
Okay, you still haven't seen it, right?
No, no, I'm saving that. I have like a special edible for it as well.
I think we need to make like a special watch party like in the Discord that I created. We need to like watch RRR because I mentioned I mentioned in the pre-show before we started recording.
Mhm.
I haven't seen any of the Scream movies, and Scream 6 is out next month. I would
Oh
love to
no.
do a watch party of all the Screams. Like I've seen Scream 5 and I really enjoyed Scream 5 like a lot.
Mhm.
So I would like to watch Scream 1 through 5 again before 6.
Yes. Yes, that's a great series to watch. I've seen all the Screams. I loved them as well. I am like you. I will watch any genre of anything if it's
Mhm.
good. As long as you can tell me a good story and entertain me, then I'm here for it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, um, I'm glad you finally saw Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Thank you.
Sorry I pried that out of you, but
No, no, I
I,
forgot. I was like, what did I see? Oh yeah.
the life of a stoner, the life of a stoner.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you've been watching like this week?
I don't think so. I'm in like a, you know how people get in like a sexual rut and dry spell? I'm in like a television dry spell right now. I'm like desperate. Why do you think I downloaded fucking Tubi? Like I need help. That's my really bad vibrator that's dying. I need like a new one. So
What
I
a
need
what a
new
wonderful
shows.
analogy.
Tubi, that's the best compliment they've ever gotten. They're like, "Ooh,
So
arousal."
I love that we're talking about Tubi on the show now because did you see like one thing that I'm sure we all watched were the Super Bowl commercials? The
Mhm, mhm.
Tubi cleaned up at the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
yeah, they did.
Like they're like, oh, Nat downloaded Tubi. Let's just get everyone now. Like,
Like,
did you think that it's weird that Tubi spent like all this money on Super Bowl commercials?
I'm assuming Tubi did this. I mean, look, they've got 1-800 Missing, Merlin, Duck Dynasty. I'm pretty sure Tubi is trying to draw people to them and then they're
Yeah.
gonna start charging. I think they're gonna start charging.
Oh God. You, please don't. No, I'm gonna cut this part out in the podcast. You just gave them an idea, but yeah. Tubi, please
Yeah,
please stay free. I don't want to switch to Freevee.
with
So
commercials.
yeah, but anyways, besides Tubi stuff, that's a pretty good list.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
What no, I'll just say I'll just shout out Next Level Chef. I do enjoy Gordon
Yes,
Ramsay, and that show
yes.
is just insane. But uh, I've only been watching. It's been kind of a dry spell for me. Besides, like the challenge that I'm doing,
Hmm.
some like it hot. But I've only watched like two things. I saw Sick, which is the reason why I'm
Hmm.
on like the Scream bandwagon because it
Ah.
it's written by Kevin Williamson, one of the main writers for Scream.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sick is basically it's basically it's a COVID movie.
Hmm.
It's about a horror movie that's set within the pandemic, and it's like and the main killer like wears a mask and stuff like that. And I thought it was like it was pretty interesting that I thought it was pretty interesting to an extent, but the way this movie ends in kind of like an anti-vaxxer like type of way where the spoilers for Sick if you don't want spoilers for that, but I don't really recommend it because the way this movie ends is that it kind of paints the people that are taking the pandemic like safely, like
Hmm.
taking all the precautions. It paints them as the bad guy, which I
Oh.
didn't really like just because I don't know about you, but I'm always wearing a mask everywhere I go. I still have hand sanitizer just because we're still in a
Hmm.
pandemic. And to have like a movie like this come out like right around like this time
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
it I don't know. I'm not about it and plus it's like I'm not about like I think I said this before on like on your show too or like um on a previous podcast is that I don't want movies about the pandemic because it's too
Hmm.
soon.
Yeah.
I don't need stories like that.
We're living it.
So
We don't need your creative flair on it. Give us a decade. There's no 9/11 movies yet, so like, give it time. Like you just got to wait. Wait until we're not in the midst of it.
exactly. Other than that little aspect, I did think it was like fine. Like I don't think it was like insulting up until like the final act.
Mhm.
But like it's just a slasher movie that just happens to have COVID and the pandemic like in its storyline. But you can
That's what it
check
looked like to me.
you can check Sick out. It's on Peacock, streaming on Peacock. The cock, streaming on the cock. uh, uh, yeah, you can check it out there. But the best thing that I checked out like this week, besides Some Like It Hot, was Yellow Jackets. I finally started season 1 of Yellow Jackets.
Ooh.
This is basically a female. Um, uh, what's that one story? It's a I just drew a blank on it. Lord of the
Lost.
Flies. Lord of
Oh,
the
Lord of the
Flies.
Flies. Oh,
It's a
yes, yes.
it's a female Lord of the Flies, but the way it's I basically got turned on to the show just because I've been watching a lot of The Last of Us too. I just don't want to talk about it on the show just because everyone's talking about it. But
Mhm.
Melanie Lewinsky is in The Last of Us, and she's also in Yellow Jackets, and she's absolutely incredible. Like uh, in Yellow Jackets, basically
Mhm.
it's about like this all girl soccer team uh, that gets that's going to this tournament like on this plane, and the plane crashes, and they
Mhm.
get stranded on this island, and it's very Lord of the Flies esque. I don't want to give too much away because it's like pretty much anything that I can say is a spoiler. But I just have to say that I'm just like every single episode that I'm just glued to my seat, and it's like
Mhm.
I don't think I felt like this way about a show since Breaking Bad, to be honest. But have you seen Yellow
Ooh.
Jackets? Or
I have been wanting to watch it because I know it's based loosely off of a airplane disaster. I won't say what in case that gives anything away. I am
Mhm,
watching Breaking Bad right now again for my second go round because
mhm.
it's a friend of mine's first go round in Breaking Bad. So we're watching Breaking Bad and then we're gonna hop over to Better Call Saul, which I've not seen yet.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on Better Call Saul season 6. Like I bought
Mm,
all the episodes and I just haven't started it yet.
mhm.
That's just how my life is right now. Because I binged all the episodes leading up to season 6 and I was just like, there's a
Ah.
lot. There's a lot in Better Call Saul. And I just like
Mhm.
I can't handle this right now. I don't want this to end. So that but yeah. Um you can you can check out Yellow Jackets though. It's on Showtime, which
Mhm.
one reason why I haven't started Yellow Jackets up until now is because it's on Showtime. What's on Showtime that
Mm.
can you think of
Yeah.
anything? It's like I was
Um,
shocked like when Yellow Jackets was actually good, and I'm like, wow,
yeah.
it's Showtime coming up.
Yeah, I don't really know much on Showtime. What I do know is that if you can't find anything over there on Tubi, they have a
Here we
private
go.
FBI. It's Sue Thomas, FBI, spelled EYE, because if you guessed it, she is deaf. I'm not sure. I I I can't even say it because I started watching and thinking, "Oh, she's blind. I got what they're doing." No, she's deaf and she has to read lips. But yeah, that's over on Tubi if you looking for something that's not Yellow Jackets caliber to watch.
This podcast is just going to be sponsored by Tubi. I'm just kidding. It's like before we go into a deeper rabbit hole,
Yes.
let's get into our featured review with Some Like It Hot. Okay, so
Let's
the
do it.
trailer will play and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'll kind of make it look fancy. Um, yeah. All right, starting again in three, two, one. That was from the trailer for Some Like It Hot, the a late 19. Sorry, let me start that again. I forgot to put the date on the itinerary.
Yes, March
My bad.
1959.
1959.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Let me just thank you. Let me just put that in there. Let me just cut all this out. This is why I love going live because people can like see me like fuck up. So I'm like,
Mhm, mhm. It happens to the best of us.
okay. All right. Starting in three, two, one. That was from the trailer from Some Like It Hot. Marilyn. You got me on this Tubi. I think you. I'm blaming you and your Tubi.
You need me to walk
Uh,
it in for you? I got it. I
no,
got
I got
it.
no. Have you been hitting the pen? I think you have.
No, I'm
No.
this is the thing.
Okay.
I'm the least stoned I've
I'm not
been in
stoned. I'm
ages.
not stoned at all.
Okay.
You
Yep.
just got me
Yep.
on. You just got me on Tubi.
This is my natural high.
Okay. Okay. That was from the trailer from Some Like It Hot, a Marilyn Monroe film, and I'm gonna read the um. Can
Synopsis.
I do that again one more time? Fourth time's the charm.
Four times the charm. Do it.
Okay. That was from the trailer from Some Like It Hot, a film written and directed by Billy Wilder. And I'm going to read the synopsis from IMDb. After two male musicians witness a mob hit, they flee the state in an all female band disguised as women, but further complications set in. Further complications. This film was came out in the late 1950s, 1959 to be exact. And Nat, when you saw this list on the top Letterbox top 250, and I showed you this list. This was the first movie that came to your mind that you wanted to come on and talk, and that you wanted to talk about. Why was this movie? Why did this movie jump out to you that you specifically wanted to talk about?
I love this movie. Just like I am a huge look, I promise guys, I'm not that big of a Fast and Furious fan, but sometimes I get into a certain character or genre, and Marilyn Monroe is one of those. So I have seen every single Marilyn Monroe movie there has been. I collect memorabilia of Marilyn Monroe. This movie I watched it as a kid, and it just, I don't know. I don't even know that it wasn't that I hadn't ever seen anything like it, but it is funny. It's very funny. And it's really easy to follow, even for like an old timey 1959 film. And so it's something that I've seen many, many times. Like I said, I love this movie. This is like peak like comedy back then.
Yeah, I this is the first time I've seen it, so I was really excited to like talk about this movie with you, just because like I totally agree with you. Like this movie flowed for like a
Hmm.
movie like made in 1959. It didn't have like that traditional like pace that most of those movies do, and
Hmm.
I the joke still landed. To like I was honestly really surprised. I mentioned in my letterbox review like how progressive this movie was,
Oh
like
yeah.
two men like
Oh
basically
yeah.
going drag like
Oh
in the
yeah.
late 50s. Like I can't even imagine like what a movie like this, like the perception this movie would have had when it originally released. Like
Yeah, yeah, it has some history with that. You know, the director you mentioned, Billy Wilder, also the director of Sunset Boulevard. So
mhm,
already was very, very, critically acclaimed. And so this movie also super, super popular. And I know that at the time you needed to get a motion picture production code, the Hayes Code, which was if there was anything that featured LGBT related themes, including cross dressing, and they did not have that approval to make this movie. They just went ahead and made it. And so I know that nowadays we're so used to seeing this kind of thing that it's not a huge deal, but this was a big deal back in the 50s. It was much, much, much more of a greater like taboo socially to be dressing up like this and doing this. There were no drag queens back here. People weren't
mhm.
used to seeing this. And so I do like how progressive the movie is as well.
Yeah, and one little fun fact that I pulled at after, like, because whenever I finish watching a movie, I like pulling little facts about
Mhm.
like the making of.
Mhm.
Apparently, like Marilyn Monroe, she wasn't actually going to be in this movie
Mhm.
because she Marilyn Monroe, if for anyone that doesn't know, likes being in movies with color. Like
Yep. Mhm.
she refused to be in any movies that were black and white, and this is a black and white movie, and Billy Wilder convinced her to like be in this movie just because of the makeup between like for like when the two men were cross dressing, it wasn't going to be believable,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
which I thought was like kind of like an interesting like that the director was able to convince Marilyn Monroe to be in her first black and white movie. Which can you imagine like a movie like this without Marilyn Monroe?
I can, because this was kind of, again, these kind of movies were made back then, but I think she absolutely, I think the chemistry we see between her, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon is just something that you don't see a lot on screen. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why this was, it is one of the greatest movies ever made. It's often, receiving all of these kind of awards. And I know back in the 80s, the Library of Congress even selected it as one of their first 25 films for preservation of our National Film Registry. So, yeah, it was a great chemistry between I think these three in the movie.
Yeah, most definitely, and I think I know you mentioned Fast and the Furious at the beginning. Like you always have to bring up Fast, but I think another reason why we love Fast and Furious is because of the one-liners. the one-liners
Mhm.
in this movie are some of my favorites, like
Mhm.
some of my
Mhm.
favorites like ever, including like the very end. Nobody's perfect at
Oh, yes.
the line at the line at the end, which is very. I don't know. Like is that guy like actually like LGBTQ like at the end?
Yeah,
It's just like
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah,
think
I think so.
like I that's just I would love to be in that theater like in 1959 just to like see the reaction from like all of that. Uh, but what are some of your favorite like kind of one-liners or just punchlines like from this movie?
I love that, he has to keep reminding himself that I'm a woman, I'm a woman, I'm a woman, like, over and over through the movie.
Hmm.
One of the lines one of the running jokes they have through the movie that I like a lot, the callback to the blood, the blood type being O, is that
Hmm.
he keeps saying that, like, "Oh," and so it's full of good stuff, and I will say when I was watching this, something I immediately noticed probably about 10 or 20 minutes into the movie is I don't know. Like, I felt really good watching this movie. I knew maybe it's because I know this movie so well, but I also just see such a difference between how movies are now and how they were. And I just watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? So
Hmm.
that is like movie cinema to the max, right? It's everything. It's turned up brightness, all the different styles and genres that they mix together. Whereas this was pretty simplistic. This was a pretty
Hmm.
simplistic story. And I didn't know that about the makeup, but that makes great sense. And you can't tell. They look great in these movies, they look amazing.
Exactly, and I believe they actually won an Academy Award for
Mhm.
best costumes, like
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
this movie came out, which totally well deserved, and
Oh, yeah.
also very progressive of the Academy to give like like an award for like two men doing drag, which
Oh, yeah.
in like in the late 1950s we already kind of
Mhm.
discussed like how that wasn't you didn't see like drag queens like anywhere like or people doing drag like in that time. So to have like the
Mhm.
Academy like recognize them for that, uh, I don't applaud the Academy very often, but but I'll give them a round of applause for that. So but
Yeah.
yeah, um, I would like to just kind of shout out like the way this film kind of starts. It kind of caught me a little bit off guard just because I like how this film doesn't start with like the two main people, uh,
Mhm.
the two musicians, just because it starts off with like a car chase and like it it starts off with like how Chicago is like gangland Chicago is like and why these musicians would want to like just leave like the city and
Yeah.
it kind of it was like it was a total like shift like it's I thought it was good I thought it was going to be like an action movie because it starts with like this car chase and
Mhm.
setting the tone and then it leads into like oh here are these two musicians just like trying to make it
Mhm.
I really enjoyed like kind of like that tone shift of just like because I don't know, because that was a really crazy action sequence. Like, what did you?
I wrote in my notes OG Fast and Furious because like the cars, they've got guns, the police car gets a headlight shot and then that causes the police car to just spin the fuck out and it's like, "Oh, we got to let them go." It definitely gives you the feel of like, "Oh, Chicago was rough back in the day."
Yeah, especially like because this takes place during like the 1920s, the late 1920s, when prohibition and
Uh-huh.
like just crime was like at its all time highest. And what do you think of like the speakeasy that like that these musicians were playing at like in the beginning of this film? Uh,
I thought Mr. Mozzarella did a great job of letting everyone in. Please tell me you caught his name as Mr.
Yes,
Mozzarella.
yes. That name is a really hungry writer. Like he was
Uh-huh.
when he wrote this script, or when they wrote this script. Like they were hungry, and they're like, "No,
Yeah.
what? I'm just
Mhm.
mozzarella. That's his name."
Yeah, yeah. Or They're just being insensitive, and because he's Italian, calling him Mr. Mozzarella. That's what I thought.
True.
They're so it's look. This movie was made in 1959. We can't have it all. We've already got cross dressing. So
Right. That, that, and that's how it worked in the 1950s. It's like we're being progressive towards one group of people, and then kicking down the rest. So that it's like you can't have it all. Like you said, you can't have it all.
you asked what one of my favorite lines was, and in the opening scene, after they decide they're going to dress up as women and join this band, they are trying to get on the train. They can't walk. They're like, struggling, and Marilyn Monroe walks by, and I love it because Jack Lemmon says, "Look at her. She moves like jello on springs."
Yeah, I love that line too. I actually posted this on Instagram, like this scene, and it's what I think it's my favorite scene in the entire movie because I love when he says that line. Like Jack Lemmon is like literally like he's like trying to like move like her and just
Uh-huh,
like
uh-huh.
it's really good like kind of like inflections like what he's doing and and that's such a great intro too for Marilyn Monroe, where it's just
Oh,
like
yes.
it tries to sexualize her, but then like the steam from it's like it's almost like the movie's just saying like nope nope don't we know what you're thinking there, we know what you're
Mhm,
thinking there.
mhm.
She like Marilyn Monroe is a very strong, powerful woman. We're not going to reduce her to these cheap ploys.
Mhm, mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, uh, yeah, Marilyn Monroe. Like this is like my introduction to Marilyn Monroe. And
Ooh.
I'm so glad that this this film was it, just because, like you said, this movie flowed nicely, and also it's like the last two movies that I've watched for like the series. It was nice to like watch a movie that had like a simple and an actual narrative, because the last two movies
Mhm.
were very like, not saying that the last two movies that I watched in the series were bad. They're just like vibes. So it was nice like watching like a movie that was that actually had like a narrative with the characters and dialogue and like
Mhm.
super easy to follow. So, but but yeah, uh, is there anything else that you wanted to shout out um, about Some Like It Hot?
I love, again, I huge Marilyn Monroe fan. In case there's listeners who don't know, she came from really humble beginnings, grew up kind of on a farm, was an orphan, and had to get married at 16 to avoid going back to the orphanage. And I just love that Norma Jean Baker, as Marilyn Monroe was known when she was born, exploded into this amazing cultural icon. She had a stutter as a kid in high school. And so for all of the things that people love about Marilyn Monroe at the time that she was around, I know it was hard for her, the pressures of like always being on, always being perfect. But I love that despite all of her flaws and challenges in life, that she is still being talked about here in 2023.
And I'm really glad you mentioned like all that all about like her upbringing, just because I know that the Marilyn Monroe has been like she's been talked about like uh like we're talking about her like right now, but we there's also that movie that will remain nameless. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure you've heard of it. Uh, um, Netflix produced it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Uh, I just want to say that that movie doesn't represent Marilyn Monroe like the best and not accurate. So
Oh,
m-
I figured it
my
wouldn't.
my message to all the people listening to this is do your research on Marilyn Monroe. Listen to the people that are actual fans of her and not and are not trying to like over sexualize her and like just make like dramatic pieces and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she started
Yeah.
her own production company. I don't know if you knew this, but she did start her own production company in 1955 called Marilyn Monroe Productions because she wanted to get more dramatic parts because she was very tired of being seen as a sex symbol. That's fine. It got her to, where she was, but she wanted to explore a lot of other things and just she'd always been historically underpaid. And so I liked that she decided to start her own production company.
That's amazing, and especially like at that time, like
Hmm.
it must have been like incredibly difficult for like a woman like a woman like her to just like kind of the woman in general
Hmm.
to start a production company like at that time, but
Hmm.
yeah. Um. Anyways, I really like this film. Uh, pretty much echoing pretty much everything that you said. Like I like that. Like it's a simple plot. It's easy to follow, and it's I like that you also said that it wasn't it didn't kind of fall within the same like category as like most of the other films that came out like right around this time that were just
Mhm.
kind of like hard to follow and just and had like a different tone. I like that this film is just very it's very lighthearted and it kind of knew it kind of knew what it wanted to be and it did that and it did that really well. But
It did, and sometimes it's touted as a musical, which I find interesting because there's really only 4 songs, performed by Marilyn Monroe, or there's 9 songs, but she does half of these songs, and I like the jazz music in this movie as well.
mhm,
It's just again, it's little things that I feel like when you strip movies down, we have so much stuff for movies now, right? We have all these special
mhm.
effects, all these grand bands and musicians that can play. I really feel like this is a good peek into like old school Hollywood cinema and like where it all started.
Yeah, for sure. Um, but anyways, uh, the Nat, do you have a letterbox profile? You said you were going to make like a letterbox account to like kind of follow like this series along with me.
I do not, but I will make one.
If you don't, you can just kind of pretend. You could pretend to, and I can just edit it to make it seem like you do. Um,
Sure.
if you were to give this, like, how many stars would you give this, like, out of 5? Since we're going off the letterbox, like, the rating scale, because I gave it 3.5. So,
I'm very biased. I wanted to immediately shout 5, but I
mhm.
will give this 4 because I know it's not in color, but you don't notice that it's not in color while you're watching. It's one of the few movies that doesn't really affect the story.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh, I don't give out 5s very often, like, on my letterbox profile. I'm very, like in my reviews, I'm very like funny and kind of like, and just I say what I want like in the reviews on Letterbox. But I gave this 3.5 just because I found it. I don't know. There's some parts of it were a little bit problematic,
Mhm.
like kind of rubbed me
Mhm.
the wrong way, especially with like especially living like in the era that we are now and watching this like
Yeah.
with 21st century like
Yeah.
eyes. It like I was just kind of like, that's kind of gross. But uh, it like those aren't like big
Mhm.
parts that like bothered me, which is why it's like 3.5 and not like 1 or 2. But yeah, this is a really great film. Um, but yeah,
I think that's a
uh,
good rating for your first old-timey film, and especially black and white like this. That's not a bad rating.
yeah. But since but Nat, since you're on the show and your family, uh, I'm kind of introducing a new segment to the show, especially since you're on. You have a munchie of the week at the end of the show.
Mhm.
At the end of your show, I kind of want to introduce this. So I'm asking for your permission, live on air and live on recording. What is your movie munchie?
Ooh. Ooh. So, I do keep it classic with popcorn. You will not
Hmm.
find me at the movie theaters without popcorn. extra points if they do the thing where they have the crazy seasoning.
Mhm.
But I'm
What
a
what
sucker for
what
snow
seasoning?
caps.
What? Sorry, what seasoning?
Oh, anything that's got bacon or cheddar in it. I saw someone had like a spicy. I got like it was like a wasabi cheddar at our fancy movie theater, and I like that very much.
That's jalapeno cheddar, like
Yeah,
wasabi cheddar. That's
yeah,
that sounds delicious. I'm gonna have to check
it's
my
spicy.
my local movie theater. I think after I record this, I'm gonna go see Ant-Man Quantumania. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, since that came out, since we're recording this on the 16th. Uh, but yeah, you said what was the candy that you?
Snow caps. Always
So,
about the snow caps.
is that coconut?
No, dear God, no.
Is snowcat? I'm I don't
No,
know.
no. It's
I'm not
as I was
familiar.
saying on this week's episode, we had a munchie of the week that was coconut, and I felt so bad. But no, snow caps, they're non-perils. They're like an old-fashioned candy. It's semi-sweet dark chocolate,
Mhm.
and it has little tiny crunchy those little white candy bars on it. So it looks like an actual snow cap of a mountain.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. That sounds like amazing, actually. I
It's
might actually have
nasty.
to try those. I know for me, I think my go-to has always been Coke Zero, medium Coke Zero, light on the ice with peanut M&Ms. Like
Nice. Good choice.
that's my movie munchie. Do you mind if I steal this for previous episodes? That like I just thought
No.
about this since you because I don't know. I wanted to introduce it with you just so we could promote your munchie of the week, and then we can like kind of like debut at the same time. But
Sure. I mean, imitation is the highest form of flattery.
mhm.
So I am more than happy. And also, you can't really go to the movies without snacks. So,
Yeah, go to the movies or even just like watching it at home. I feel like if I'm
mhm.
like watching it on streaming, I have to like have like if I'm starting like a movie like on Netflix or Tubi. If I start a movie without like a snack or like a beverage or in your case like a munchie like
Mhm.
or an edible, uh, I, like there's a empty void in my heart. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like I need to stop and like have something to munch on.
I get
But
it.
anyways, Nat, thank you for joining me for this discussion of Tubi and Marilyn Monroe's "Some Like It Hot."
Sure. Very happy to be here. Thanks so
It,
much for having me.
I love talking to you. Pretty much like we're always chatting. Like we're
Mhm.
recording, we're always chatting. But where could people find you on the internet?
They can find us at Instagram. We are there at Stoned in Social, like rock and roll. Or they can come over to our semi new digital crib. We've got furniture over there now at www.stonedandsocial.com. Lots of beanbag chairs. Come chill with us, have some edibles, um, listen to our stuff, tell us what munchies we should have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Everyone, go listen to the podcast. Head over to their digital crib. I'm glad you have furniture because
yeah, yeah.
it's kind of awkward. Last time I was over
I
there,
know.
there was just
I
like
know. That's why we
just
got
like
three beanbag chairs now.
yeah. No IKEA furniture. No IKEA.
Nah, nah, we're
Okay.
we're we're moving up in the world.
Okay. Yeah, but it's one of my favorite. Your podcast is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I listen every week. Everyone, go listen. You can listen to this podcast that you're listening to right now, though, on any podcast platform, Spotify, Anchor. Oh, I'm always so bad at this. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever you listen to podcasts on. Leave us a rate, leave us a review. Head on Good Pods, follow us on Good Pods. Give us a like here on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Real Lovers Pod, and follow me pretty much everywhere at Marley Loves Film. Just I answer pretty much all my DMs. Like if you want to ask me why I love Fast and Furious, I'll probably answer you and then block you. No, I'm just kidding. But 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 anyways, Nat, thank you for joining me for this episode, and keep
Yeah.
watching movies.
Peace.
All right. All right, that was a good episode. I like that.
Yeah. Thanks, Gnarly.
I know I kind of like fumbled the bag a little bit, like with the featured review, but
No, it's fine.
yeah,
It's fine.
I can't.
It's good. I want you to have fun during this one, so it doesn't matter. Like it's one of those things where if you're having fun, then that's all that matters.
You're right, but yeah, I will post this. I will try to post this tomorrow, but I think like I'm noticing like if I post like on Monday, like I
Mhm.
get better. Like it seems like people listen a little bit more like on Monday because it's the start of the week. So I think I might
Mondays
switch
and
it to.
Fridays are good podcast days.
Yeah. Um, but yeah. Thank you for being on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot
Thanks
to.
for
I
having me.
forgot
What
to.
do you
Hmm?
Sorry, go ahead.
I forgot to mention like what movie we're gonna be watching next week. I can
I
just
was gonna
record that.
ask.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask you, what are you watching next?
No, we could just. No, I'll just record like I'll just cut this together in the actual episode. But we're watching Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh gosh, have fun with
That's
that.
next week. What was that?
I've only seen one Indiana Jones. I remember when these were super
Which
popular
one?
when I was a kid. I've just seen the first one, but I saw it like 10 years ago. I didn't see them when they were out.
Yeah, well, which one? Hopefully not the fourth one.
No,
Hopefully.
no, like the original.
Oh, like the original Indiana, like the first one,
Mhm.
because Raiders of
Mhm.
the Lost Ark is the first.
Okay, yeah, then that's the only one I've seen is the very first one.
Okay. Um. Yeah.
I've not
I
seen.
don't particularly care for it. I think I like Temple of Doom out of all of them. Uh,
Mm.
but I don't know. I'm excited to rewatch it again and see if I actually like it, or if it's as, or if I'm tainted just because of did you seen that Indiana Jones 5?
I did. I did.
Oh man, Harrison. Yeah,
You
he go he gonna break a hip.
He really is. You know that Ki Hao Kwan, the guy from Everything Everywhere All at Once, is Short Round from
Yeah,
Indiana Jones. Yeah.
he's
I
short
was
round, and he's the kid from Goonies.
uh-huh,
He
uh-huh.
was in
I
Goonies as
loved
well.
him in Goonies, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, super excited to see him like again, but and then we're doing Raiders of the Lost Ark next week, and then Samurai Rebellion that the
Okay.
next week, Winter Sleep, and then
Okay.
Network is a big one that I'm excited for because I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Uh, and then we're actually I'm doing RRR on May 19th. Oh crap, I might have to change that one because May 19th is when Fast X comes out. I,
Oh.
I just
Oh, that's a great day of TV, right? Of movie right there. Just RRR. I feel like you should save RR for after Fast and Furious so that you can pick yourself up after because you know it's not going to be good.
no, it's not. It's
It's not going to be good.
it really isn't. It's. Do I have to? I've been thinking about this since we're still live. I'll end the live here in a minute. But since you brought up Fast X again, would would it would I be cheating on the family if I just said that I watched it
What?
even though I didn't?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you need? Get some edibles and come to this shitty family reunion like the rest of us. Okay? You want tuna, white bread, no crust, whatever it is, just bring it to this reunion. It's happening. Fast X. Your face says it all. None of us want to go. We're just going out of obligation.
No. Did you see the Super Bowl spot? The Super Bowl spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like, and the, and apparently the director said that he rewrote the final act of the film in one night, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man.
It's gonna show. It's gonna Oh, it
I'm
looks
just I
so fucking stupid.
I've just been thinking a lot about it recently because Justin Lin left the franchise, and I'm like,
Mhm.
you can see how it could be a good film because you can
Yeah.
see
Mhm.
like with Han and Shaw. If it
Bones.
was a
Uh-huh.
Han, if it was a Han and Shaw, like not Hobbs and Shaw, Han and Shaw. If it was a Han and Shaw like revenge story, I would love to
Oh
see
yeah.
that. But you could, but I think Vin Diesel, he was like, oh, I can't have someone creeping up on my turf. This is my Vin
I'm
Diesel's
calling it.
marking his Vin Diesel's marking his territory again. He's like, oh, I'm taking this franchise back,
I
and
think Vin's gonna die this movie.
oh, he definitely is, but he's gonna come
Mhm.
back as
For the last
as
movie, yeah.
as Ghost Obi-Wan, Ghost Dom.
They're gonna age up his kid between this movie and the next one.
Oh please. Anyways, for anyone that's in the live stream, thank you for listening. I'm ending it
Okay.
after on that.
Bye, guys.
Bye.